Good afternoon. I do have two problems, I tell you. One problem is that I couldn't choose a color for my cast. So I'm a little envious of the woman with the pink one. And the other problem is that this is my Braille watch reading hand, and I cannot check the time. So just chase me off the stage if I'm going too long, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I was asked to talk about leadership, and I will. But I will also talk about the ability to dream and the ability to transform concepts. And I want to talk about the beauty of blindness. And all of this, if you believe it or not, is very closely connected. Leadership, ability to dream, transforming concepts, and the beauty of blindness. In my speech, I would like to take you on a small journey from Kerala, from the south of India, where we have our IISE, the latest dream project, the International Institute for Social Entrepreneurs. I will go with you together to Tibet, where we have lived and worked for 13 years. I will make it short, because you can read it in my book, My Path Leads to Tibet. But then I will come back to the IISE and to Imagine Solution, because this is very well connected also. The IISE could also stand for Ideas I See. It could also be seen as a dream factory. But what does it mean, dream factory? It actually means that we invite visionaries, dreamers from all over the world, mainly from developing countries, to come to our center to study or to be trained in a very intensive, hands-on, 11 months training course to be able to start their own social projects in their own countries. Well, the IISE can practically be seen as a training center for future leaders. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to close your eyes and just picture for a moment the leader that you imagine. Yeah? Not a certain type, but a typical. What would you typically think how the future leader of tomorrow looks like? I tell you what I guess. A middle-aged male. Is that right? Yeah. Yes. A middle-aged male, good-looking, well-dressed, fast car, beautiful wife, an Ivy League university degree in his pocket, and very well connected. That's the typical leader, isn't it? Yes? Yes. Well, the IISE looks at leadership, or at leaders, in a little bit of a different way. We look at leaders, or we see leaders in survivors. We see leaders in very passionate and talented people who have overcome adversity in their lives, who have faced discrimination, daily discrimination, and social exclusion, who have survived through wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone. We see leaders in albinos in East Africa who are fighting for the rights not to be slaughtered by witch doctors. When we select our participants for the IISE, we are looking not necessarily for the pre-education. We do have people with PhDs, and we have people also who have never gone through formal education. But what we are looking for is resilience and talent, and the ability to transform constructive rage into positive social change. When you come to our center, you will definitely be surprised that you see a lot of blind participants, amongst a lot of sighted, of course, too. And this is not because we want to do something good for the blind, or we want to give them also a chance to become a leader. We believe that true leadership is innovation, and we believe that the future of innovation is blind. Well, to understand the sentence, we have to transform the concept of blindness from disability to possibility. In our opinion, talented blind people are potentially great leaders. And why? Why is that? Just look at the basic qualities a leader should have. And I do feel that we agree on that one. Focus, concentration. The ability to communicate, to listen. The ability to solve problems, to find solutions, and to be able to create visions. By the way, the last one is very often forgotten, but I believe that a leader who's not a visionary is actually a follower. And now look at the possible abilities of blind people. Well, we can focus. We are not easily distracted by Hollywood and Bollywood, by all these posters and advertisement and all these handsome men and beautiful women sitting in the audience. We have to concentrate, we have to focus on everything that really matters. Also, we are forced to be good communicators. Why is that? Well, we have to listen, and our ears are actually our gateway to the world. And if we were not able to communicate well, we would be probably invisible. Also, we are, I think, potentially good problem solvers. Because just imagine, I mean, we are living in a world that is created for sighted people, isn't it? So from the morning to evening, we have to solve problems. We have to find our own ways, and we have to find solutions for our problems. And last but not least, do you need vision to be a visionary? You need a vision. And visions are based on imagination. And we have to constantly imagine the non-obvious. When I became blind, or when I knew that I would become blind with the age of 10, or I think I was maybe 11, I thought, probably like everyone else in this room, I thought that blindness is darkness. And I closed my eyes and I tried it. I tried to walk with eyes closed through a room, and it was horrible, and I was afraid. But then I became blind, and darkness never came. Actually, in fact, my visual cortex played a great trick on me. My surrounding became much more colorful and much more beautiful. So I could use my imagination from morning to evening. And all of us, we know that imagination, especially when we're reading books, imagination can only be disappointed by reality, isn't it? While people were pitying me, or the society was pitying me, I actually discovered the beauty of blindness. And I discovered that I am not limited by blindness, but I am limited by sighted people who project their limits on me. So after I accepted blindness as a quality and as a chance, my life became very predictable and very linear. So I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I decided to leave Germany at one point. I had the feeling that everybody knew too well what I could do and what I could not do. I decided to have a very adventurous life, a very interesting life, and I wanted to do something meaningful in life. And to be able to do something meaningful, I wanted to look for a country that was challenging enough, and I thought Tibet is quite promising and challenging. So I decided to study Tibetology, and during my studies, to be able to cope with my vocabularies and my grammatical sentences, I created a script for the blind. Later I found out that there was no such script. And the government was very, very interested. But then they said, who can teach this? And there was a Tibetan scholar who knew me very well, and he said, well, just invite Sabriye, she will come immediately. And I said, no, she's a blind woman, she's a young student, how can she come to Tibet? It's not possible. So I decided in '97 that I would go on my own to Tibet to convince the people that I was very well capable of traveling through Tibet. So I made a small need study, and I found out that there are loads of blind people in Tibet, 18 times higher than Germany, mainly because of very strong UV light radiation and soot in the houses caused by yak dung. So a lot of people think that blindness is a punishment for something you have done in your past life. Or people believe that blind people are possessed by demons, and they don't even want to touch them. And at first I thought I could not do anything. Who am I, to tell them, well, transform your concept of blindness. But then I met this little boy, Tenzin, 8 years old, and he showed me that there could be pride about being blind. So he said, well, I cannot go to school, but I heard the yaks and the goats in the mountains. And I was very intrigued by that. And I thought, okay, maybe I have to create a school or a center, which is not just a school, but a place where blind children can learn that there is a life with blindness, where blind people can gain confidence, where they see their school like a jumping board, where blind kids can jump back into society, embrace life, and say, okay, yes, I'm blind, so what? I can do so many things. Maybe I cannot go to a shop and read and write or read an article in the newspaper, but I can do something that sighted people can never dream of doing. For example, reading and writing when the light goes dark. I do feel that Paul and I made a difference in these 13 years, especially in transforming the concept of Tibetans, of blindness in Tibet. A lot of people nowadays, they witness our graduates, and they say, well, these are breadwinners in their families nowadays. And they don't see them anymore as being pathetic or vegetables. I do also think that we have changed something in the attitude of blind people towards their own blindness. And I want to give you a quick example. There's Kumi. Kumi is 9 years old. He was sitting in the courtyard, and he was smiling from ear to ear. And Paul went out, and he said, Kumi, what's up? And Kumi said, I am so happy. And you could hear it. He was radiating happiness. And then Paul said, why? No, Paul always asked, why? And so, why are you so happy? And then this little boy said, because. And because is the first word they learn in our center, in our school, in our English classes. And then he became very, very serious. And he said, I'm happy because I am blind. When I tell this to sighted people, a lot of them, they're shocked and speechless. And I said, how can that be? But when you ask this little boy, he would tell you, I'm the only one in my family that can read and write. I'm the only one in my village that can speak 3 languages fluently, English, Tibetan, and Chinese. I'm the only one in my region that can surf in the internet and that knows that the world is round. And all of that despite the fact, or maybe because of the fact, that I am blind. Okay. So we're coming back to the IISE. I have to make it short. To be able to understand who we are teaching there, I would like to introduce some of our visionaries who have set up their projects. Please see that.
I am Sayilia, 26 years old. I am from Liberia, West Africa, a country that was affected by 15 years brutal armed conflict. Like a post-war country, many young people today are sleeping on the street, while others are without education. Therefore, it is my vision to help these individuals so as to become useful in society.
Hi, my name is Yoshimi Horiuchi from Japan, and I'm 26 years old. After living in Southeast Asia, I have realized in rural areas, access to education is rather limited, especially for those who are marginalized in society. For example, people with disability, blind people, women, and people from the hill tribes. Therefore, my dream is to set up a mobile library to bring books to people and people to books.
My name is Jane. I'm from Kenya, and as you can see, I'm white compared to my Kenyan brothers and sisters. The reason is because I lack the skin color called melanin, and this causes a condition called albinism. In the past, as an albino living in Kenya, my only fear was the sun and social discrimination. But in the recent past, it has taken another twist. I'm now afraid of being killed and sold to witch doctors. This has been contributed by a belief that albinos have got special powers that are also supernatural, and witch doctors are making use of this belief to use our body parts to make their charms and traditional medicine. My goal is to start up an organization that will work in areas of awareness and sensitization to the society. This will hopefully help eliminate the taboos linked to albinism and later stop the massive killings that are going on in Africa. If they think we are so special with supernatural powers, they should stop killing us. They should preserve us.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first graduates have together already more than 1,000 beneficiaries. But we still need to support these people. And we are here all together to imagine solutions. And it's a great title. But I do feel, and I want to join my colleague from this morning, I do feel that we have to also not only imagine, but also call for action and help these visionaries out there, and of course these visionaries who are here in the conference to make their dreams come true. Thank you very, very much.